Some minds never seem to rest. They pick up on subtle details effortlessly, constantly scanning their environment, and they feel every experience with a heavy, unyielding intensity. We often view these traits as a form of luck. The assumption is that this top 2% of the population glides through life, accumulating academic accolades and financial wealth without effort. But the psychological reality is more difficult. People with this specific profile report high rates of clinical anxiety and chronic burnout. They carry a persistent, isolating weight, often feeling like outsiders looking in. Giftedness is a distinct structural architecture of the brain. It is a physical phenomenon that dictates how information and stimuli are integrated. Judging a specialized brain by standard neurological metrics creates a damaging illusion. These individuals are not broken or overly dramatic. They are simply operating a high-performance machine on roads designed for everyday traffic. A neurotypical brain generally tackles a problem linearly. It identifies the issue at point A and draws a straight line directly to the solution at point B. In the gifted brain, a single input triggers an explosion of interconnected variables. This is multidimensional thinking, where one thought instantly activates an avalanche of related ideas and parallel data points. Because this web is so dense, the brain rapidly tests multiple complex pathways at once, allowing gifted individuals to acquire new skills and spot abstract solutions. There is a biological cost to running this engine. Because every node is connected to dozens of others, the system lacks an effective off switch. A simple question can spiral into chronic overthinking, keeping the mind racing long after it should be resting. Rapid learning is the result of an always-on engine. This structural design burns through mental energy reserves at an accelerated rate, leading to the exhaustion often mistaken for a lack of discipline. Popular culture depicts high intelligence as cold and logical, the calculating genius who lacks feeling. The data suggests the exact opposite is true. Gifted emotions involve extreme emotional depth. The deep neurological processing that handles logic applies just as strongly to emotional stimuli. A minor event, an offhand comment, or a distant news story strikes this mind like a drop of water in a vast pool, creating massive emotional resonance across the entire system. This intensity causes social friction. In a world often built on superficial interactions, a person experiencing these massive emotional waves can feel alienated, craving a level of depth that others may find overwhelming. Extreme emotional intensity is the inevitable byproduct of a deeply processing mind. It is a core feature of the architecture, not a psychological flaw or an overreaction. Seeing every variable and feeling every ripple creates a formidable internal world. But these two traits collide during the output phase, where thoughts must be turned into action. This leads to a relentless battle with perfectionism. This cognitive profile generates an impossibly high internal standard of execution, where every minor task carries the weight of a complex vision. Looking at these intersecting circles, we see the friction. One circle represents the flawless vision held in the multidimensional mind. The jagged circle is the imperfect reality of physical production. The glowing zone is where they fail to align, creating intense mental stress. This internal friction leads to action paralysis. A gifted person might fail to complete a simple task because the fear of producing something flawed relative to their internal vision physically stops them. What looks like laziness to an observer is actually an exhausting defense mechanism. It is a way to avoid the psychological pain of compromising an internal standard. The isolation of the top two. Giftedness offers no guarantee of a quiet mind or an easy path. It is a commitment to a wildly intense inner world that, when mastered, is capable of a breathtaking level of depth.